A lot of people say that you can just do things, but I don't think you really understand that you actually can just do things. I want to tell you how I learnt that I could just do things in the last 2.5 months and how it's benefited me. So, I made some videos a while back on getting laid off. And I'm not going to beat that dead horse. I was laid off. I wasn't very emotional by it. I didn't really care, which was a really good thing, I guess. And I spent a few days just thinking about stuff. And what I decided to do, and this is something that I've told a lot of people since, is I sat down and I thought about what skills do I have, if any. And then I thought about what do I enjoy doing. And then I thought about, okay, how can I turn this into a service that people will pay money for? And in fact, I'm pretty sure that is uh, a Japanese thing. I unintentionally went through the Ikigai process without meaning to. So I'll read it here off the screen. Explore your passions, strengths, and values and areas of potential service. Find where these elements intersect. And then it doesn't really talk about using that for like monetary gain, but it does say it's a philosophy that helps people identify what they love, what they're good at, and what the world needs. Now, I'm not saying the world needs my design work at all, but the rest of it is true. So I took the time, and it was a bit of a process really. Initially, I didn't focus on what I enjoyed. I focused on the skills that I have that I could use to make money. And that was like web design, making websites. But what I realized is I don't actually like making websites. I don't like it. I don't find it creative enough because the problem with a website is it has to be used, and I don't like that part of it. So I didn't enjoy that too much, and then I started to pivot into just making logos because I really liked the idea of let's take somebody's project and let's try and represent that project in as little pieces as possible. Like I was trying to go really minimal. Now, some clients don't like that. That's fine. Anyway, that's not the point. The point here is you really can go and do things. So once I found that I really enjoyed doing this stuff, the next big thing is to just tell people. Like that is another problem that I had before a lot of the time is that I would make things, I'd post projects online and nobody cares and nobody cares because they don't know about it. Like put it this way, imagine you ran a business from home and your business was, I don't know, you make people a cup of coffee and have a chat with them from home. Let's say people wanted that. Let's pretend that was a service that people wanted. No one's going to just come to your door, knock on it, and say, hey, by any chance, do you offer coffee and a talk? Of course they're not. They don't know about it. You tell people about it, and then people will know. Maybe a week later, they'll be like, oh, I really fancy a coffee and a talk. Oh, there's that guy that does coffees and talks from his house. I'll just go visit him. You have to tell people. That is a big, big issue. So put this perfect melting pot that I was in. I had been laid off. So obviously I needed money to pay bills. I was in a position where I could really do anything, but I wanted to be happy. Like I just wanted to be happy. And I think that's what a lot of people don't understand. And this is going to be a rant, I'm sure. So if you don't want to listen to this, then click away, I guess. But I went through a process when I first left the army of just chasing salaries. I was always chasing salaries. I had no allegiance to any company, which I still think is the right way to go personally, because they don't have any allegiance to you. I would just go to a company, take the salary they offered me, I'd harvest as much skills as possible, and I'd move to the next, to the next, to the next, to the next. And I went from 30,000 a year in 2018 to 125 in 2023. So that's 5 years. In 5 years, I went from 30,000 to 125,000. And don't get me wrong, money is cool. That money was fun, and it allowed me to not have to worry about things. That's when people say money can't buy you happiness. It can't buy you happiness, but it buys you time and space to think. Like, if I wanted to go and do something, I could just go and do it. If I wanted to have something for dinner that was a bit more expensive, then I could do it, right? It's fine. All good things come to an end. Everyone got laid off at that company. It is what it is. I then hopped to a similar job and dropped money, which was fine. And then I realized, dealing with the bureaucracy of being an engineer manager or a product manager in a company that is suffering terribly from founder's curse is not fun. No amount of money can make me enjoy this. Well, everybody has a price. But at the time, it didn't. So I found a job that was meant to be more creative because I had a real urge to be happy in my job. Went there, didn't work out. They laid me off as well. So then I was in a position where I was like, you know what? I can just do things. I enjoy drawing things. I enjoy helping people get what's in their head onto paper and having a brand that they enjoy doing. I really enjoyed that creative side of things. I was very creative as a child. My son is very creative. We're very creative people, I guess. So I just told people. It was as simple as that. I just told people. I started streaming. When I got laid off, well, before I got laid off, I was streaming all the time for work because I worked in open source, so I could stream all the time. I then, as soon as I got laid off, I started streaming the job search, and I was talking to people on stream, and I could just feel myself like, I do not want to do this. I'm applying for jobs that I do not care about. Like, I don't care about them. Like, it was just mind numbing. I went for one job, I got all the way through to the final stages, and I poured everything into it. And then they just lied to me. They said, unfortunately, like you did nothing wrong, and I have the receipts to prove that. They said I did nothing wrong, everything I did was great, but they found another candidate who was stronger. They didn't. They completely lied because they reposted the job 2 hours before they told me they found someone else. So they didn't find someone else. They lied to me. And that's what really triggered me to like, fuck all these people. Like, I'm just gonna work for myself, and I can work when I want. I can do what I want, and I have really minimal requirements money wise. So now, fast forward 2.5 months, I have a steady stream of inbound clients because I'm telling people what I'm doing. I'll do another video. This is like an introduction to me doing videos again, I suppose. Tomorrow I'll do a video on my process of getting clients because I think it's important to separate them videos. Otherwise, this becomes just a big mess like it already is, basically. Anyway, now I have a steady stream of clients, and this is now the third, coming to the end of the third month, where me drawing shapes on my iPad at a rudimentary level has paid for my bills. And I'm at the point now where if my bills are paid, I'm happy. I'm happy. Right now, I don't have to do anything. Yesterday, I had a bath at 1 p.m. I felt like having a bath and scrolling on Cosmos to get some inspiration. So I just did it. You can do things, and I think it's important that you realize your value. You have skills, you just need to figure out how to monetize them, really. So, yes, that is it. I want to try and do daily videos.